Holy shit! Alright, well, let me start at the beginning. I was born
Minnesota!
in the Adirondacks up in northern New York State, and right on the Quebec border. And next town, 5,000 people, farm town. And by the time I was like 12, 13 for sure, I knew that I was a homosexual. Which, I'm sort of splitting hairs here, but being a homosexual and being gay are similar but not quite the same, because one of them is sort of a physical act and the other one's maybe an identity a little bit. So it's, that's just my personal thing. I'm an old gay guy, so I can make shit up. But, what's that? Oh, fuck, yes I do. 46 and dyslexic. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel me. But I figured, well, maybe my homosexual lifestyle would probably be better suited in a big city. So I moved out to the Twin Cities and went to a school called McAllister College. Very lucky to get the underprivileged scholarship because I grew up poverty line. So thank you for that, McAllister. And met a couple guys, Grant Hart, Greg Norton, who started a band called Who's Canoe. Pretty good first band. But things, so that was like 1979 when we started up, and things were crazy. It was just after the first wave of punk rock, and there was like hardcore, and there was like mod kind of stuff, and there was like, anyhow, what the deal was, to be part of the scene, you sort of had to help out the other bands, especially bands that were on tour. So, like really bad oi bands would come to the Twin Cities, and you sort of have to let them sleep on your floor, and you make vegan sandwiches and all that for them, and it's what you do. So we did that for a couple of years and made a lot of friends, and then we were lucky enough to be able to string some of those friends and phone numbers and cities together and do a tour. And we started in Western Canada, so from Minnesota we went up into Manitoba. And we got to the border, and the agent was like, "Oh, so you guys are coming to work in Canada, eh? You're gonna need social health insurance." Right? This is 1981. So just 3 near homeless punk rock guys get full health insurance just by going to play a punk rock show in Calgary. That'll be a fun one. It's a civilization. But I'm gonna put little bookmarks as I go. So that's a bookmark. So we went out to Vancouver and then down Seattle, Portland, and got to San Francisco, which is where I've been living for most of the last 15 years, and pretty amazing place. And I remember this is the summer of '81, first trip getting into San Francisco, and feeling very fortunate to be able to sleep on the back porch of Jello Biafra's house. And it was great because, San Francisco is like 60 degrees all year round, so lots of people sleep on the streets. So there's another bookmark. But it was pretty great, we stayed for a couple days, and Biafra was like, "Wow, if you guys are gonna stay in my porch for 2 weeks, you should probably go down to City Hall and get some food stamps. And then maybe you could go to the grocery store on the way back and buy some food for the house." So I thought, well, easy enough. So we got in the van and drove down to City Hall in San Francisco and just walked in and got food stamps. So another bookmark. And I guess, fast forwarding, a year ago, May, my husband and I got married in City Hall, San Francisco. Married in the Rotunda. The shadow of the bust of Harvey Milk, who got assassinated down the hall. Yeah. So, but anyways, it's a pretty amazing place. Anyways, we got our food stamps. And then drove up Market Street, went to Safeway and got some food. And of course, 43 years later, I still go to that Safeway. So, but again, summer of '81, San Francisco, you know, a lot of fun, a lot of craziness. Also, a lot of fear and sadness because one of the pharmacies that I go to, I live in the Castro, and the pharmacy in the Castro was the place where they put up the big billboard, said, you know, attention, neighborhood men are dying of gay cancers. And I was like, okay, I'm 20, I'm in the closet, this is sort of heavy, what the fuck's going on? And, you know, for a number of years, we had a government who could not even say the word AIDS. And, you know, not for nothing, but that's the kind of stuff that stays with you for life. When your government tells you that you're less than, and that you don't belong, and that they don't care if you live or die. And I guess I bring it up not to bum everybody out, but as a sort of cautionary then and now kind of thing. When, you know, when people get marginalized for no reason and get othered, or whatever you want to call it, it's a sure sign that there's going to be a lot of pain and suffering. So just keep that in mind as we move forward, you know, the next few weeks. And I don't know, you know, I guess, you know, the through line that's sort of crazy to me is that in the 80s it was Tony Fauci who was the person who stepped up and tried to figure out what we now call HIV, a manageable disease. And not for nothing, but, you know, the last 4 years, who was trying to keep us alive again, Tony Fauci, so thank you for all that. And I don't know, I'll wrap it up. I'll just say I personally am very grateful that I survived the 80s. I am very grateful that all of you survived the last 4 years. And I'm incredibly grateful that we can come together and you listen to me tell my stories and play my songs, and we can do this all together here tonight.